Hey everyone, I'm Ericeli, a social media housing ambassador.
Hi there, I'm Jared Hunt. I'm the Res Hall director here at Brumby Hall.
And today we're here at Brumby. We're gonna give you guys a quick little tour, show you guys bathrooms, rooms, and give you a little couple tips as well. Feel free to ask us any questions in the comments as well.
Yeah, for sure. We're gonna go check out a room here soon, but wanted to make sure that y'all got to see this kind of area. This is my office here, but outside of this, we get the hallway where you will be seeing a lot of that during move-in. You'll walk through this hallway a few different times, and then you will also kind of end up at the elevators, which is where we're gonna head next to go up to the 3rd floor. We'll wait for the next one.
All right, do you have any move-in tips specific to Brumby?
Big trips are helpful. We're gonna make you walk all the way around the building, which is to help with the flow of traffic. So, just the way that kind of works, you'll be walking from the parking lot all the way through. After you check in, you'll go around the building to enter over at those doors over there before you can kind of come on in and get over to the elevators. We will take the elevators off of automatic during move-in, so they will be manned by staff in that process and make sure that we can kind of eliminate any of the, hiccups and crowding that can happen when there's so many people trying to get in the building at the same time.
3rd floor. And I always recommend bringing bags as well instead of boxes, so you don't have to deal with any recycling.
Right, exactly. And then we're going to check in this one. Alright, so here's our look at 351. Give you a second to take it all in. So each room comes with 2 sets of each piece of furniture. So standard pieces are the wardrobe that is right here. Comes with 2 racks to hang clothes on, bunch of shelves, lots of great space. Mattress and bed frame come standard. It will come lofted. You can request for that to be de-lofted after move-in process if you would like, or during the move-in process. There's also a drawer here that has a slide out. It's also lockable, so if you want to keep your personal belongings in there, that's a-okay. It also has a little slide out thing, so if you need extra workspace, that's available to you as well. Each room also comes with desk and desk chair, as well as a stair dresser. So the chest of drawers is built into the stairs, which will also help you get them onto your bed. It also should come with a trash can and recycling bin. Those things should be standard to the room as well. Everything in the room needs to stay in here. So there is no getting rid of anything or temporary storage off campus. It all needs to stay in the room. Other things to kind of note is there is plenty of outlets for tech support. I know that people come in with lots of things. So we have all of those, and then there's no longer cable TV in the room, so you have to go out to the public spaces to do that, but there is Ethernet ports and cables. So those will be either up here, or sometimes they'll be down in this lower right-hand side, but not in this room. The real important thing with that is if you're bringing like a smart TV or anything, or a console, it needs to be able to be connected through Ethernet, because they don't cooperate very well with the guest Wi-Fi. So that's a little bit about this room. What other questions do you have?
Where do you think would be the best spot to put like a fridge, microwave, and then maybe a futon?
Yes, so sometimes people will stack furniture, they will put both of their desks under one side, and then they'll put a futon under the other side. Sometimes people can get a little more creative with how they lay out the room. I've seen an L shape as well, so those are kind of some of the ways that it can be done, but you want to make sure that you can access everything as well. So typically under the beds is the best format for those sorts of things.
And then you want to, and there's a lot of storage in here. I had a lot of friends that lived in Brumby, and they use these drawers all the time. ton of space. I would also recommend, for sure, getting a mattress topper. But there's a ton of storage in Brumby, and you should be good. If anything, you can always bring like storage bins. I can see that you can probably put something under here.
Yeah, lots of people use the tops of the wardrobes as well.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
You want to show show how easy it is to move the furniture?
Yeah. So these slide pretty easy.
Reasonably well. Especially if you have somebody else with you.
Yeah, I'm probably not the best person to do that.
Right. They move. It's not too hard to rearrange the room, especially if you get creative in the middle of the school year and want to change things up.
And then the desk.
Yeah.
I can definitely do that one.
This drawer should
And it
have
can
wheels on
tuck
it most
under
of the
there.
time. So that's an easy one to move around as well. So pretty customizable.
Yeah.
You can make what you want of it. We will also see a room on the second floor, and I wanted to make sure that the main difference between the odd and the even floors is the air conditioning placement. So for odd floors, we're on the third floor currently. It will be on the floor, like a floor level, kind of similar to what you would see in like a hotel room or something like that. On the second floor, it will actually be from the ceiling hanging down here, so you'll have less clearance on this part of the room. So.
Any other things that students typically bring? What comes to mind for me is like definitely command hooks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do bring a lot of command hooks.
Yeah.
Command hooks, push pins, and nails are great, like smaller nails. The main issues that we get is sometimes paint can peel relatively easily here. So making sure that you're doing those things the right way, you're not getting any tape that's too strong, so no Gorilla tape or anything like that. Just want to make sure that we do that in order to minimize charges that happen at the end of the year. Other things that students will typically bring is, shower caddies, because in this hall you have community bathrooms.
Right.
So making sure that you just have the resources to be able to safely travel to and from the bathroom is other major pieces of things to bring. Yeah.
Heather's got it. Go.
Well,
Okay, I have a couple of questions that
Yeah.
people have asked. So first of all, can you talk a little bit more about how to lock, what they need to lock the locking drawer?
So they can just buy like a little padlock or like a master lock, typical combination. There's a little locking mechanism here, so once it's in place, it should be, locked in place. So as long as you have a normal master lock or something along those lines, it should keep it locked. Just make sure to remember the code and take it off at the end of the school year, because sometimes those get left very easily.
Okay, what's happening? Sorry,
All right.
technical difficulties.
Next question is, will the chair fit under the desk on the short side?
Like if we were to rotate it?
Yes.
like, is that what you mean?
Yes. Will it fit underneath there? So,
It's a little tight.
It looks like the base kind of is too flared out, but you could probably sit there relatively comfortably.
can we confirm that the study desk is 36 by 24?
Yeah, so it's gotta go over there. I can hold it.
It is 36. And then, yep, 24.
36 by 24 is correct.
And that tucks under there, right?
Yeah, this drawer also does tuck under here relatively comfortably. It just kind of eliminates the chair space.
Yeah.
Right. It definitely creates space for a futon
Yes,
and microwave.
very much so.
Do you want to talk about mini fridges?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, I definitely recommend getting a mini fridge. I do know that we partner with a company that delivers the fridge and the microwave as a rental to your student. That way you don't have to deal with selling or like giving away anything at the end of the year. It's a really easy process. So definitely recommend that and getting it along with the microwave, because although they will most likely be eating at dining halls, a lot of the times, they want to go to Calvin Tito's, some Cane's with some friends. So I definitely recommend that as well.
Yeah. there's a lot of good places for the fridge. A lot of people kind of just put it here next to their desk or somewhere in the corner over here. I would definitely communicate with your roommate ahead of time to make sure that you don't end up with 2 fridges and you're just kind of standing there like, who's going to get rid of this or store the other one.
Right.
So make sure you talk about that ahead of time. Bedloft is that company that we partner with. They're great. I worked with them in between my time in grad school and my start here. Great company. They will also be here during move-in, so if you decide to do that last minute, you can also work with them.
That's great.
Yeah.
Any other questions?
Yes. Let's see here. Are there 2 windows in every room?
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, I haven't seen any exceptions to that rule.
Can you go over one more time about the Ethernet, how you connect the TVs?
Yes, I did kind of breeze through that. So essentially our guest Wi-Fi is not super secured. It requires going to a landing page. So while it's great for parents and other non-university members during move-in, because you just have to approve terms and service and everything, it is not the best for wireless TVs or consoles or anything like that. So the best way to log in or get those devices connected is through an Ethernet cable. It's actually the only way, unless it's an Amazon Fire TV. Amazon TVs are less picky about the types of Wi-Fi that they'll connect to. So those Ethernet ports are usually located up in the top left-hand side when you enter the room, and sometimes the bottom right-hand side as well. Those are the 2 typical places that you'll get them. You do need to bring your own Ethernet cable. Cat 6 is typically what is recommended, Cat 5 or Cat 6. And then, other than that, just make sure that your TV has an Ethernet port, or whatever console you're using is also Ethernet capable as well. As long as you do those things, it should work very smoothly.
How many connections can you have in a standard room?
For the Ethernet connections, so I think there's 2 ports up here. So there's 2 connections there, and then let me check behind this and see if there's an extra one over here. Is this? No. Yeah, it looks like there's 2 standard ports per room. Now you could probably get an Ethernet port splitter or something like that on Amazon. That would be fine. But there's definitely no like bringing your own wireless routers or anything like that to try to increase the number of connections that you get.
Can you also talk about temperature control in the room?
Yes, so that is, we do have a thermostat that will tell you automatically where the temperature is at. You do have, I'm gonna sit down here. You do have some control within a range. So you will set it, it's a plus or minus 4. So right now it's at 70 to 74 and it's hanging on the low end. You can drop that all the way down to 66 to 70. It will typically hang out in the 70 range most of the time, just because it's hard to maintain that for every single room in the building. If it gets too hot or you feel like there's any issues with your AC or your temperature control, then fill out a work request, which is available on the housing website, and we can come and take a look at it.
Yeah. I don't know. I had a lot of friends in Brumby as well who like wanted to bring fans. That was really helpful too.
Yeah.
I mean, most students, even if they don't live in Brumby, brought a fan with them.
Yeah, it's helpful to have. Just the guaranteed air movement is good to have, especially in the Georgia heat sometimes. So.
Couple more questions. Can we measure the distance from the top of the wardrobe to the ceiling?
Yeah.
Maybe I don't want to film you doing that.
And then there'll be a difference between the 2.
I can try to hold it down.
Yeah. It looks like it's about 2 feet. I mean, it's kind of an imperfect measurement, but it looks like you're getting like 27 inches. So, yeah, about 27 inches. So that's just over 2 feet of clearance.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how much you would have in the rooms with ACs down here.
Yeah.
And then, Jared, can you talk a little bit about where people in a floor where the AC is on the floor, where do people typically put futon, extra storage? I know
Yeah.
you covered that a little bit, but how does that layout
Yes.
typically work?
So a relatively popular one is a lot of people will pull the desks over to in front of this, and the air will still flow out, but it'll kind of bounce off the bottom of the table, and then they use this more as like a decorative tables or like where they can keep some of their stuff. They also will use it as like, you know, a desk still, and then that way it clears out the space underneath the beds, and then they can put futons or TVs under on each side.
I think I also have friends who move to the deck like this,
Mm-hmm.
like that.
Yeah.
Creates more space too,
Mm-hmm.
so that's always an option.
Yeah, and then like if we want to keep getting creative, there's also like some people don't mind if the futon hangs out into their like the very edge of their half of the space, and then this is like the TV side and this is a work side or something like that as well. So there's plenty of options. It just kind of depends on how much space you're willing to give up or share, things along those lines. So.
Can you also talk a little bit, a lot of people are asking about the bump outs and the dimensions of those. I know we can measure this specific room, but could you
Right.
also mention the variations
Sure.
there?
Yeah, so something that is unique about the spaces in Brumby is there's one room will look similar but never exactly the same. So there are these tiny little bump outs that occur like similar to this in the corners over here, this random lip up here. Those things are kind of another good example is over in that corner. There's just a little bump out as well. So some of those things are unpredictable. So I can give you some of the measurements for the ones in this room. It looks like this one is about 1.75 inches. This one looks to be about 2 inches deep. This one is 9.5 inches, and then let me get this last one. The depth on this is also 4 inches. So it's not that there's no rhyme or reason to it, it's just there's structural requirements that they had to build into the rooms and stuff like that, so it just kind of comes and goes as the building was made. So
Yeah.
each room is going to be slightly different, and you'll see that when we go down to the second floor as well.
One more question for this room.
Sure.
Can you mount the TV on the wall?
So we discourage drilling into the walls. There will be charges associated with, filling those holes and repainting that area of the wall as well. So we would highly recommend not doing that. Instead, there's ways that you can put both of the desks together, use the legs that come with the TV. Some people put them on top of the wardrobes as well. There's also this areas that can be used for that as well.
Okay. We're getting lots of measurement questions, but I
Sure.
know maybe we can plug where to find some
Yep.
of that on our website.
Yes, we can.
Do y'all want to travel and
Yeah,
Okay.
let's show them the second floor room, and then we can talk to them about the measurements that are provided on the housing
Okay.
website too.
We'll go to the bathroom first, right?
Sorry. You want to go through and make sure it's empty before we walk in? Sounds great. This one. Sorry.
Talk about how the bathrooms are gendered.
Yes, so each wing will have its own designated floor gender. There will also be a corresponding bathroom to that gender as well. Then we're all good?
Yeah.
Awesome. So you will share the bathroom with everybody else on the floor as well. I'll let y'all kind of take a look at it.
Yeah.
So key thing is to make sure that you bring things that allow for safe
Right.
and clean travel to the bathroom. Shower caddies so that you can kind of keep track of everything.
Shower shoes.
Shower shoes for
Yeah.
sure. A bunch of bare feet on the same floor gets pretty,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And just make sure you're keeping up with your items, not leaving anything behind.
yeah.
We do have residential
Building
Building
services.
service
Building
workers.
service workers.
Yes,
who come and clean daily,
Yep.
which is a great help for like the communal areas. So very sanitary, very clean.
Mhm.
Just make sure you're not leaving your soap, your caddy in the bathrooms and taking everything with you.
Yeah, if you leave things behind, it could get mislabeled as lost and found items. They might get taken down to the desk. So try to keep the corners of the showers clear and take all your items back as well. If you ever notice that the bathroom is not up to standards, you can always fill out another work request, and they should prioritize those to make sure that somebody comes and checks it out as soon as possible. That goes for cleanliness issues. That goes for this room is out of toilet paper, we're out of paper towels, we're out of soap, any of those different things that can kind of come up. That work request is going to be the best way to get those things taken care of very quickly.
Yeah.
So.
Any general questions about the bathroom?
Okay.
Well,
You want to show that like they're full-size doors and how they
Yes.
work?
Something that I do appreciate, sometimes people can be worried about a community bathroom, but floor to ceiling and full door privacy is really helpful. And that is also standard in the showers as well. So it's not the same as like,
Stalls.
stalls. It's enhanced privacy is what we like to call it. So,
Great.
yep. Sweet. Let's get on down to the second floor and show you all one more room. Where did you live your freshman year?
I live in Lipscomb.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Yes. Lots of people enjoyed those.
Yeah, I loved it.
Well, you did too.
Yeah. Another thing I always recommend is when you move in, while you're in your room, leave your door open so you can like meet other
Yes.
people. I know Brumby is really social, so it's never been a problem.
Yes. We are a very social. We're hanging right. We are a very social hall. So during move-in, I definitely recommend, like you said, propping those doors open, making sure that looks like the motion activated lights. But making sure that you do all you can to like set up those connections that you're going to be
Right.
utilizing for the rest of your time in college, hopefully. Oh, yes, they do have it. So first thing I'm going to highlight, there's a different Ethernet port. It works the same. This one actually has more connections though, so some of those are just modernized to have 4. But as you'll see, if you want to open those blinds so that we can get a little more light in here. Relatively similar layout. You can see that ceiling AC unit like I was pointing out earlier. It does reduce the clearance here, but there's now more space down low. But furniture is going to be the same, requirements are the same, all the like Ethernet ports and everything like that are in a very similar location as well.
Can you talk about the setup of the beds? Like, will they be up? Will they be these?
Yeah, so each of the beds is, like I said, you'll probably come in and it will be lofted. We do have safety bars that are included in each room, and similar to every single piece of furniture that was in the other room, these also have to stay in the hall as well. A lot of people, if they don't want them, because they can kind of ruin an aesthetic if people are looking for it, they will put them behind the wardrobes, or they'll pop their wardrobes just a little bit out from the wall and kind of slide them behind there. Just know, like, the safety is provided. Whether or not you choose to use it is completely up to you as well.
Right.
Similar to that, chairs, recycling bins, everything's going to stay in the room as well, because we'll check for it through the year as well.
Where's the best place to dump out your recycling?
Yeah, so at the Circle Drive of Brumby, so you'd have to go out to the first floor and then walk out to the back Circle Drive and recycle it there. It is not our RBSW's responsibility to go into each person's room and take out their trash. And we also discourage the students from utilizing the lobby trash cans, and if we find that there are different, if we find that those have been used improperly, we can charge those people as well, or at least give a warning before we start charging. So
We can see this one's already set up a little differently.
yeah, they flipped the location of the drawers and stairs for this room. So
Jared, one question is, are all the windows recessed, and what's the best way to hang curtains?
yes, so they are all recessed. It does come with blinds in the room, so you do have the normal blinds, but If you want to add any other type or some blackout curtains, we recommend tension rods for the most part. Not like drilling something in and popping it into place, making sure that you have a tension rod that would be small enough to kind of utilize for that space. There's also some people that will use a giant tension rod that goes from one end of the wall to the other. That's up to the students for sure, but try to minimize the amount of times that we're nailing or drilling something into the wall.
Right.
Can you talk a little bit about rugs
Yeah.
in Brumby? Do students typically like smaller rugs, larger rugs? What's the preference there?
So it kind of depends. I've mostly seen larger rugs just because it adds, the sense of uniformity to the space that some students want. But smaller rugs also work fine. If they do smaller, they typically want it under the futon or something like that to kind of help with moving, reduce any floor damage that could occur, things like that. So
What's the best way to kind of add a large rug when you move in?
yeah, so what I would recommend is I would just bring it rolled up, put it in the space that you're hoping to, and then just like lift the furniture so that it lets the rug kind of fall underneath where you're hoping for it to go.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Can we measure? Do we have our measuring tape?
Yes.
Yes.
In this room with the AC on the ceiling, what is the height difference between the ceiling and the top of the wardrobe? Please, sir.
Yes. So this is 15 and a half inches. So I think we said it was just over 2 feet in the other room.
Yeah.
So this takes off a good 8 inches of space. So I think if we measure that, yeah, this bump is 11 inches down. So it is 15 inches from the top of the wardrobe to the bottom of this.
Wonderful. And then if you were going to put a headboard,
Mm-hmm.
I guess the only bump out would be that one.
Correct.
That would be a concern for a headboard, and that's about the
You
same.
could put your headboard over here.
Yeah.
I mean, if you just cut it so that it's below that as well, it wouldn't be an issue as well.
Yeah.
So like probably 10 inches shorter
Yeah.
than full size.
Or you could switch these two, like
Mhm.
Carrie said,
Mhm.
with the headboard right here.
Yeah,
Mhm.
that's also true. So.
So in a room like this, furniture layout, because there's a little more floor space.
Right.
How can you shuffle furniture around in here?
Yes. So the most popular other method that I've seen is one person will want the bed against the wall over here, and then leave this space more for the wardrobes and the dressers. There's not a ton of really extra like formats. Some roommates get like really excited and have like a period of time where they'll do like let's mash the beds together and do a mega bed that's more space, but it also eliminates some personal space as well. So it's kind of like a quick phase that they go through and then they do that. But that L format where there's one bed against the wall and another one here is really the most popular other option that I've seen without that floor AC space. People will still put the desks here and then move the dressers and stuff like that around a little bit, but they're largely similar layouts.
And do either of y'all, can y'all speak to where, if they're wanting more specific measurements, like where can they find kind of room measurements, furniture measurements, where can they find that information?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's available on the housing website, so it's housing.uga.edu.
And there's specific floor plans and room plans for the rooms. You can also do a virtual room tour for your specific room on the housing website as well. When orientation comes, you can also come visit us at the resource table because we have pretty detailed dimensions for each dorm as well.
Yes. During orientation, we do not do physical tours of the building, so make sure you go to that resource table instead or utilize your online resources. Blackdale Miller also has a pretty solid room format that you can kind of get a feel for what it would be like to live in any of the other halls as well.
Yeah.
Last thing that I want to talk about is personal room security as well. So each of these rooms will have a different, they have the same locking mechanism. So if it's perpendicular to your door handle here, it's completely unlocked. Somebody could just open it from the outside. While you're here, like, while you're here and you want to socialize and invite people over to your room and you're awake and everything is all good, keep it unlocked or prop the door open. Say hi to people, right? As soon as it's ready to go to bed or you're leaving for class, anything along those lines, this slightly off-kilter version, it keeps it unlocked for you in here, but there's no longer the ability to enter from here. And then just if you want that extra added security, that parallel to the door handle is a deadbolt has been thrown. So now it is physically in there as well. And once you open it, that deadbolt is undone. So.
Not locking itself.
Yep.
That's great.
So we do as much as we can to keep the building secure. There's a single point entry over at by the desk. You need your card and your PIN number to key in. But once it's up on the floors, you also have to make sure that you keep your own room secure as well.
Right.
So.
And you're responsible for the guests that you bring in as well.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah.
Do we want to see the bathroom on this floor as well? Similar.
Sure.
Okay. Sounds good. Other questions in here though?
Nope, I think that's it for this room.
Cool.
No one's in the building at this moment. We're just double checking.
Yeah, just
double
double
checking.
Our RBSWs are still cleaning, so
That's
I'm
true.
sure we're not putting them on camera. They don't want to
Sorry.
be. No,
All good.
All right, come on through. As you'll see, it's very similar to the last floor. There are some wings that have bathrooms on both sides. It's usually the east wing that's the case, or the south wing that's the case. There was just, due to building plans, a little bit less space to have a full size, so they split it between two smaller ones. But they will always follow this format with the floor-to-ceiling stalls, full privacy or enhanced privacy, and then showers are following the same format. All the same things kind of apply. So, yeah, that's
Okay.
great.
Okay.
So that's this bathroom. I think we can head on down to the first floor and wrap up any last minute questions. The bulletin board will be dressed by the time we get to school year, I promise.
Would y'all like to share the study spaces?
Sure, we can do that. Yeah. So, one of my favorite things about Brumby is all the space that we have on the first floors for students to study or talk on the phone. We have some private phone rooms. Sometimes it's hard to have a conversation with the family while your roommate is listening, so we have some privacy for that. Some study rooms over on this side as well. These are larger, more suited for group work. But also not large group work. It's 4 people, so if it needs to be personal study, that's okay as well. We do have larger study rooms in these 72 rooms. We have a couple extra mattresses. They're getting cleaned for the school year, so ignore those for the time being. But this is really large space. This is also good community gathering space that sometimes the RAs will use. We have a warming kitchen over here on our left, and that's just, warming kitchen means sink and microwave. So you will be able to use ramen and mac and cheese. Just make sure you please put water in it. We can smell it for the rest of the day when it burns. And then the last little thing is in these public lobbies, you don't have live TV, live cable television in your room space, but you will have it available in the lobbies. So if there's a game on a cable network that doesn't have a streaming network at this point, and you just have no way to watch it, you can always come down here and utilize normal cable television like you would at home.
Yeah.
So
I think that really makes Brumby stand out, the amount of, space that it has to create community. I always came to Brumby to study with my friends and hang out with them here, so I really loved it too.
Yeah, we got a lot of space. I like it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah. Other than that, we can head back down to the first floor and answer any other general questions that have rolled through.
Can you speak a little bit as to the cards that have students are able to get into the building with?
Yes, so I can actually demonstrate that once we get down to the first floor. I'll hide my PIN code because Yeah, that's my PIN code. But so essentially, this will be your UGA ID, which is made for you. If you share it with other people, we want to make sure that there is an extra security measure that eliminates if somebody else were to find your card, that they could just get into the hall without, without extra safety. So their ID card, the colors will be flipped. Mine is, I have shorter hair than mine, but essentially their UGA ID is what they're going to use to scan through any of those points. So we're headed to the front desk area now, and the Brumby Rotunda. So once this door closes, I can show you kind of how that operates. So once it closes all the way, you would scan it, wait for that light to flash green, and then you would type in your code, and then it passes through. So it doesn't open until you actually complete that PIN access code. Your card will not come with that pre-set up. You will have to set it up with this QR code once movement happens. But more of that information will come in a later webinar that will happen on July 16th, I think. So
Whenever it's over, you have to say that.
yes, please
A
share.
couple more things.
Okay.
Especially during like fire alarms and stuff like that, when everybody's trying to get back into the building, we have to maintain security, so we have to look for these little stickers that we keep on the top of our IDs. So if you could keep those on you as frequently as possible, that would be super duper helpful in the event that we ever need to, maintain building security like that.
We'll go on the-
Do y'all want to sit down and then we can wrap up a couple more questions?
There we go.
And Jared, can you talk a little bit about mail?
Yes, so our front desk here will process any mail that kind of comes up or that you want to send here. So that is done through, we have the address posted online here. Just make sure you include your first name, last name, and your room number. When you put that on there, that's how we ensure that the mail is going to somebody that actually lives here. So we will be able to process any Amazon packages or physical paper mail that may be coming through in that way as well. We are not accepting mail before move-in, so like if you have larger items that you need delivered beforehand, try to schedule those to show up a day or two after you arrive, because they take up a lot of space, especially like if somebody ships a futon and then 12 other people ship a futon.
Right, and if they're technically not living here yet.
Exactly, we run out of space very quickly. So if you are planning on shipping some larger items here, please try to hold off until the day after you move in so that you can get those kind of pulled in. But yeah, the front desk will be able to process that. There is going to be sometimes a day or two delay where they'll sort it and make sure that all the packages come to the right building. So you will actually get an email from us whenever we log a package in your name. So
Great.
yeah, cool. You want to sit down?
Sure.
A couple more just questions here from folks who are watching us. You might not know the answer to this, but in the room, are the thermostats always on the right-hand side of the room?
I'm trying to rack my brains. I wouldn't say that confidently, but they're typically right next to the door on one side or the other.
I know we didn't show the laundry room today, but there is a laundry room.
Yes, there is.
How does laundry work?
Laundry is free for residents. You can come in, use that space. We do ask that you stay with your items the whole time. I know it's very tempting to put it in and walk away, but there are some people think that they need their laundry done faster than other people, and so they will pause it, take stuff out, move things around. So please try to make sure you stay with your stuff. And since it's a large laundry room, but we have a lot of residents in the building, so it will fill up quick. So the more that you can stay with your items and stay on top of your things, the smoother it runs for everybody, and you ensure that you're not missing any of your items.
Yeah.
So
It's a great opportunity to study while doing your laundry, meet people in your hall as well.
Yep.
Is there like a really good day to like do your laundry?
people kind of figure that out based on the flow of other people at some point. The best day to do it has changed based on semester, based on time, all those types of things as well. So I can't promise a best day to do it, but yeah. There is also a TV in there as well, so you don't have to be bored. I know lots of people, there is room to study as well. So and there's also a hallway that leads up to it with more of those spaces to do that too.
great.
So even if that space is full, you can come anywhere on the first floor and maintain kind of a presence around your things.
Mm-hmm.
Right, that looks like most of our questions, so we can go on and
Cool.
wrap up.
Sounds
Yeah.
good. Sounds like a plan.
Well, it was great doing this tour.
Yeah.
This video will stay up on our Facebook page, so if you guys have any more questions, make sure to comment them down below.
Sure.
But yeah.
Yeah, no, I appreciate y'all tuning in. If y'all have any questions, you can always contact housing or my office. You can find all those things on our websites. I think we're holding another webinar for move-in on July 16th is currently the plan, so make sure you sign up for that as well. And if y'all have any other questions or things that pop up, feel free to reach out.
Yeah. See you guys. Congrats on living in Brumby.
Yes.